Was Jameis Winston showed us last night, when you are playing in division, records do not matter. Talent does not matter. It matters who wants this game more. And the Denver Broncos want this so bad, going into Vegas to win for the first time ever since they've been the Las Vegas Raiders. So to figure out how the Broncos get it done and make the playoffs, I go behind enemy lines, talk to the biggest content creator in all of Raider Nation. That, of course, is my main man, Graphic Raider. Check out all that he does, his live stream. Incredible creator there. We talk about the injury report, why this matchup favors the Broncos, how it benefits both of our teams. I get his assessment on Sean Payton and the Broncos' chances in the playoffs, that and so much more in this video. Let's dive in.
How are we feeling about this weekend, man? I'm looking at this injury report, and you guys are pretty healthy right now, man.
Yeah, well, I was feeling good about it until I watched what the Cleveland Browns did last night till the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, in division matchups, it doesn't, none of that matters. You know, like you would think on paper the Steelers would just mollywop them, and you saw Jameis go and do work on them. And so that, I don't think we can look past this game. Sean Payton's talked about not looking past this game. It's gonna be a knockdown battle, I think.
Salute to the Cleveland Browns for handling their business last night, because that moved us up a notch. In terms of drafting. So I'm good right here, man. Yeah, salute to Cleveland. We were at 5 initially when the night began. We're at 4 now, so we're slowly moving up the ladder. Salute to J-Mo, man. Winston did his thing out there. That was a crazy game, bro. The snow, it was a wild one. I mean, look, we're 7 games away from potentially being able to locate our franchise guy. And I mean, look what it did for you guys this year. You know, you had, I mean, you guys have had greats in the building for years. The John Elways, you bring in Payton, he wins one. You bring in Russell Wilson, it didn't work out, right? But, the Tim Tebow's of the world, I know that didn't work out as well. But everybody thought that Tim Tebow was going to be something. He's one of the greatest college football players of all time. Yeah. But this year, after a bad season with Sean Payton, out there with Russell Wilson and Stidham, and it's all starting to come together here, man. What changed these past few weeks with Bo Nix and his development? I mean, originally I was still kind of like, man, he still is very questionable to me. But these past few weeks, he's been firing on all cylinders, man. What is the change?
Yeah, I think it is just having more and more of the offense that he feels comfortable with, and using more of the field. And after, all those advanced analytics that their mom, those nerds in their mom's basement tweet out once a week, they always show that passing chart. And for Russell Wilson, all last year, it was like you saw all the dots on the right and the left, and he never threw to the middle of the field. And that's what Sean Payton hated about him, because Sean wants to draw up one route that builds on the next route and then get his receivers open, so that when you don't have insane top end talent, they just get open based on scheme. Yeah. And so you've seen Bo Nix really use the middle of the field. Cortland Sutton, I think, has been the 3rd highest receiving wide receiver over the past 4 games. Really cool connection there. And props to you, because I feel like you're the only Raiders fan who actually gave Cortland any love in all of this. Like, people were hating on him, and he's a good player, man. He really is.
I've been watching the kid since college, and I knew, I knew what he can do. You know what I mean? And I know that in Denver, he caught a lot of flack. I know at one point there was rumors of you guys moving on from him. So for Bo Nix to have that security blanket in Cortland Sutton, man, that's definitely helping him. The O-line, I didn't expect this. I did not expect this. What is the change? I'm a Raider. I don't pay too much, attention to Denver until it's time to face you guys. What has changed thus far with the O-line? They're protecting Bo Nix.
Yeah. Well, they're the highest paid offensive line in all football. Sean Payton, during this offseason, said all the energy for this whole team is going to permeate through that offensive line room. Quinn Miners, we went out and gave the bag to. Yeah. And really, I think they were a good passing offensive line last year. But Russell Wilson, as you saw last night and all the time, he's already, leading the league in sacks per game. And he just holds on to the ball too long and waits for that moon ball, which is just not Sean Payton's offense. And so I think the big change is just this ball is coming out on time. And I don't think Bo Nix has actually been sacked by anyone since Max got him, which is pretty crazy.
Statistically, you guys are a top 5, top 3 O-line. I know you guys lead the league in sacks. I know you're a top 3 defense. I mean, look, bro, those are all proven formulas to get into the playoffs and potentially make a run. I mean, and now your young fella is starting to, show signs of real life here in the middle of the season. I know he can't wait for that bye week, though. I know you guys cannot wait for that bye week, man. I don't know how the NFL schedulers did this to you guys. For you to be what, 6-5? Is it 6-5 right now?
Yeah, we got 2 weeks till it, man. Week 14.
That's tough, man. That's tough. The ground game, I know you guys can still improve there. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about your ground game and also your tight end room. Where are you at with your tight end room right now?
Yeah. So ground game, I think one of the, it's been so many years since we've had a receiver who's had more than 100 yards in a game. Cortland Sutton finally did that for the first time in like 3 years, something like that. We haven't had a 10-sack edge rusher since Bradley Chubb, and one of the other streaks that has just gone on way too long. We haven't had a 100-yard rusher in like several years, which I feel like you all have 100-yard rushers all the time. Multiple dudes, I think, for you have run the rock for over 100 yards, and we just cannot seem to crack it.
Well, not this year.
Oh, yeah, you have. Hasn't Matt? You've had a couple of games where you've had dudes pop off.
One game, I believe, Madison went for over 100, just once.
Okay, well, you've also had a lot of injuries at that room, but it's really just been like, who is our primary ball carrier? We had all this hype behind Javonte coming into the season, and he didn't look right, and then Audric was popping off, and he got injured, and then started fumbling. And then in the Kansas City game, which we should have won and lost on a blocked field goal at the end, he was the primary bell cow. And you had Javonte had 1 carry that game. So everyone was like, yes, it's Audric's team now. And then this last week, Audric was like the last, it went Javonte, then Jaleel, and then Audric. So I don't know, man, but that has to get fixed if we want to be playing meaningful football moving forward.
Okay, let's go over the injury report, because right now, Ben, I know that you've been paying attention. You're a diehard Denver Bronco fan. We are reeling right now. Like, all of our starting corners are out. Every single one of them. Jack Jones is questionable with the back injury, which I'm still pretty. I don't know if he's going to play. He did not participate all week. He was limited yesterday. No, I'm sorry. He was limited
today. It looked like, yes.
Today. So I don't know if he's going to play. And if that happens, man, Bo Nix may feast on this secondary. Jacorian Bennett out with the shoulder injury. Harrison Bryant, once again, he's questionable. He's been limited in practice. So it looks like we're getting closer to having our tight end 3, our veteran guy, back in the fold. Nate Hobbs, corner, out. Our starting nickel. He is one of those guys that sets the tone on the defense. That sucks that he's out again. Andre James is questionable, but it doesn't really matter because Jackson Powers Johnson stole that center job. And we all in Raider Nation knew it was going to happen. So even if he is questionable, he's not going to be playing. Jack Jones, once again, with that back injury, questionable. Alexander Madison, doubtful. So our running back 2 already looks like he's out. Zamir White, doubtful. Nasty work.
So who's 1 and 2? Your carrier?
So what we're going to do is right now, man, I don't know if you've seen this, but AP during his presser today talked a lot about Amir Abdullah, right? And this guy is 30 plus years old.
I was going to say, he's got to be like 33.
Yeah, but we have this young kid, Dylan Laube, that I really believe in, out of New Hampshire, a 6th-round pick, that's going to get some burn as well. And he sent me a text actually yesterday and said, it's time. So I'm excited to see.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, my kid, the young fella, my guy, man.
He's a white guy, right?
Yeah. Small little white boy. He's like more of a 3rd down back. He gets really active in the passing game, at least at the collegiate level. The problem is, Ben, that in preseason, fumbled on his first carry, finally gets 1 carry in the NFL, fumbles, and the nation just already gives up on him. I'm excited about this kid. He's an elusive running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a guy that if you give him some space, he can do some damage to opposing defenses. So keep an eye on Dylan Laube. Look him up after this. I'll send you the interview I did.
And friend of the show. That's sick. That's an awesome get, man. Props to you, dude. You do awesome stuff.
That's my guy, man. But also Justin Shorter, the wide receiver, converted to tight end, is dealing with an illness. He was full in practice, so it looks like he may be playing for us this weekend. I said already, Zamir White, quadricep, looks like he's out. He's out. He's doubtful right now, but it looks like he's going to be out because he's been dealing with that for a while now. Cody Whitehair, the veteran guard, is questionable. He's been limited in practice all week long, but it looks like he'll be back in the fold. And then you guys, man, there's nothing really there. Brandon Jones, abdomen, full practice Thursday, Friday, good to go. PJ Locke, good to go. Ben Powers, good to go. Josh Reynolds out with that hand.
Yeah, so that is okay. So that story, man, I can't wait till that breaks because that is he broke his finger on a touchdown pass from Bo Nix, and it was supposed to be just like a 2-week injury.
Yeah.
And so everyone said he was coming back. Well, then he was at a club and his car got shot up 30 times, man. Like, so I think that'd mess you up, man. Like, he got hit in the head. He's supposed to be fine. He's been full in practice, but mentally, like, you got to be feeling crazy, like going through getting your car shot up 30 times, you know?
This is a crazy year for wide receivers. I mean, the young pup, Ryan, was it Purcell with the Niners, was shot earlier and
right through the chest, right?
And he's playing right now. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like 50 Cent, you know?
I know, right? Many men, bro. And look, I want to ask you your take on this kid, because I was a huge fan in college of Drew Sanders. What happened with him? He's a full participant all week long with Achilles, but now he's out.
Yeah. So everyone was so high on him. And that was one of the times when I knew Sean Payton had turned this team back around and had full control. He tore his Achilles, and we didn't find out about it. No leaks, nothing for an entire month. So it happened before the draft. We didn't find out right until before OTAs. And then he gave the timeline for it and said he was hoping by the end of November. So I think we will see him really kind of, the big hope was like, could you get him back the week before the bye week? But at this point, with how good our edge rushers are, having that bye week and having him come back, but I'm thrilled to have him back. And I think that's part of why we traded Browning at the trade deadline. And we just
talented, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you guys, he can be one of them ones. If he can get healthy, he can be one of those guys. We talked about him that whole draft process. He is a dog. There was some of us even taking him in the first round. Oof. You know, we were excited about this kid, and then, you know, injuries have kind of derailed him up to this point. But I'm gonna see him soon, man. But yeah, that's the injury report, you guys. And once again, Zach Allen was limited. He's questionable. He'll play. I mean,
yeah, I'm hoping so, because I think that changes. We definitely need to stop the run, and I think make Gardner throw on us, you know.
Out there locally, what are people thinking about? You know, I seen year one, and I seen people out there killing Sean Payton. Now, what is kind of the thought process behind your fandom out there locally in Colorado in terms of Sean Payton? How are they feeling about your head coach now?
I think they're Bo-LIEVE, man. You really notice it changing. I think when he didn't take us to the playoffs last year, and we had to give up a first and a second round draft pick. So as you think about what are you going to do to move on from a coach? I was really against giving up that kind of capital for any coach, like even Lombardi, if we could have had original Vince Lombardi or John Madden, maybe John Madden, because he was a Raider, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a lot to give up for a coach. And you just see this team that was a 5-win team now be in playoff contention, and you see the culture that he's built. So I really do think it's changed. You heard him come out and say he was going to be better at evaluating quarterback talent than anyone else. And it's kind of looking like that might have been true. So I do think, like, I've always had a man crush on him, and you've roasted me for it, but pause on that, right? But yeah, I do. Has your opinion of him changed at all, or you still think he's kind of fraudulent?
I gotta see a playoff berth.
Yeah,
I gotta see more, because this is a guy that once won a Super Bowl, and I understand that he had Drew Brees at the helm, but I need more. I need to see more. You know what I mean? And if he can lead this young team, especially with the young, signal call, like if you can get Bo Nix to the playoffs in year one, look, I'm gonna change my tone.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna give you one of those long, super mile high on the show, bro. I promise you. Right. If you guys find your way. Speaking of the playoffs, man, like where's the path right now? Like, who are the toughest teams that you have left, on your schedule? And honestly, like, not take the Denver Bronco fan hat off and honestly, like, assess the schedule moving forward. Is there some tough battles ahead? Yeah. And how do you see this kind of turning out moving forward?
So if we win on Sunday against y'all, ESPN Analytics says it's a 70% chance of making the playoffs. Really, we have a 2-game lead now on Cincinnati and on the Colts.
Yeah,
I don't really believe in the Colts at all. Like, do you?
So the thing is, man, the Colts are always just good enough to be right there. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't see it happening. They went back to Anthony Richardson. I know they were hyped up about his performance this past week, but I'm not a big Anthony Richardson guy. Yeah. I think that at some point he's going to kind of rear back to who he is, and they're going to lose some games. So I definitely have you guys getting in over the Colts for sure. Yeah. And then I had the Bengals as my dark horse, even though they were losing football games, because it's hard to bet against Jamar Chase and Burrow. You know what I'm saying? But
now T. Higgins is back and looking amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, some things going to have to go their way in order to sneak in. And that's why I'm asking, like, who's the toughest guys? I know you got the Chiefs one more time, right?
Yep. So we go this week. Then on a Monday night game, we have the Browns. So I feel like that's a pretty winnable game, but the Browns last night looked scary. So not sure about that. Then we have our bye week. Then right out of that bye week, we get the Colts at home. So I feel like Sean Payton off of a bye week, chance to scheme. That should be a win. And then from there, we have Chargers, and that game got flexed to Thursday night. So a short week. And then we have 10 days to prep before Cincinnati. And then we have the Chiefs at the end of the season. So really,
so you have 2 teams. You have 2 teams that are right behind you that you're going to be facing. So that's big. Get the Colts out of the way. Get the Bengals out of the way. And I think honestly, you're going to find your way in there.
How wild would that be? Like I would lose my mind, man.
It may be 3 AFC West teams, bro. Like the Chargers look really good. It hurts my soul to admit this about your team and the Chargers, but bro, you guys are both gelling right now. You guys are doing exactly what you need to do. Salute to Spivey, man, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network membership. Salute to my brother, man, the Kevin Nash of Mount Shillmore. Salute to my guy. Appreciate you, brother. And salute to Hug as well. Graf, how does this line of Bronco questioning taste coming out of your mouth? Taste a little like bile and bad decisions? Definitely. I wish that I could sit here and kill my boy Ben all year long because we were 10-0 right now. We do have some talent, and we're going to talk about the Raiders here in a second as well because, I mean, Brock Bowers, man, this kid is taking the league by storm. I remember last time we talked, we were both excited about, what this kid can do, but now it's just on full display. He's breaking every record up to this point. He's leading the league. Well, in terms of tight end production, over 700 yards, 70 receptions. This kid is on a trajectory of becoming an all-pro potentially in year 1. I mean, what is your assessment of Brock, man? And who are you throwing on Brock this weekend?
Well, my assessment of him is he's not even just great for a tight end. Isn't he also leading the league in catches, just above wide receivers even? Yes. And that's supposed to be, like, we've heard Kyle Pitts, like we've heard generational tight end so many times. And then you just see that not work. And it just makes me angry for you to think of what he would have been with Devontae to suck some of the attention away. Because you even look like when he was carving us up and Vance Joseph was asked, like, what happened in that first half? And they're like, well, we were also planning on needing to stop Devontae. And we knew all we had to do was put all of our attention. So he is carving the league up when he is your only threat, which should terrify teams of like, you get T. Higgins this offseason. You get one other piece there, and Brock Bowers is like going to set freaking Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce type numbers in year 2,
Gronk has already said it. He said this kid can be better than him, and I believe it. This kid can be. He's the total package.
Well, a massive shout out to Graphic Raider. All he does, incredible work. Make sure you go check that out. The Broncos have everything they need to go into Las Vegas and win for the first time ever. As you know, when I sink this last shot before a game, the Broncos are undefeated. So Broncos Country, we got a ton to Bo-LIEVE. Woo! Let's go.